Hey, it's Chris. On a scale of 1 to completely and utterly screwed beyond belief, how screwed are you, right? We're talking about crowdfunding fails, crowdfunding concerns, and crowdfunding's, ooh, that's gonna leave a mark. What are we talking about today, though? I mean, we're gonna go with one or two usual suspects and another one or two that, they're worth talking about because it's been a while. So, first up, how screwed are you on a 1 to completely, utterly screwed? We're going to be talking about Peterson games. Peterson games. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one, folks. If you're not familiar with Peterson games, Cthulhu Wars, right? One of the most well thought of, recently designed area control creatures on a map style of game, right? With giant, ugly, way too big plastic miniatures. And a very, very triple-digit hefty price point. So why am I talking about that one? Well, if you're completely unfamiliar, they're about 7 or so projects yay deep behind. And pandemic was not kind to them. They let off a bunch of their people. And they basically said, you remember those little commercials with Staples where they were like, hey, hit the Staples easy button, right? They kind of hit the pause button on all of their projects. And they said, we're not going to fund any more of our crowdfunding projects. We're not going to spend any more money on them. We're putting them all on hiatus. And we are going to then just focus on the retail so that we can actually get some cash flow. Okay, and somewhat reasonable. Waiting and waiting and waiting. Now, apparently, the latest shipment of Cthulhu Wars is coming over. And now I'm not sure specifically if that's for one of the last crowdfunding ones. And retail, I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit of a split, though. But let me pull this up and show you the other very screwed, concerning thing. Now, this little demon sultan thing is going to be delivering, I think like maybe the Cataclysm one is delivering too. So when you go over to the updates, I mean, they talk about shipments being sent out and ships and stuff coming soon and, ish, just prior to me filming this. And so that's fine and all, right? That's not the, okay, but I've heard rumors that this is also going to a lot of the retailers first heavy. Again, like I mentioned, supporting the retail side of things. Now, why am I going, ooh, if you backed one of these other campaigns, where are we looking? Well, it's because when I pull this up, now I took this straight downloaded from the crowdfunding page here. This is the production stages for all of these various games. And you can see above me, Cthulhu Wars Final Onslaught, Hyperspace, Eternal Adversary. I don't even know what Eternal Adversary is. Glorantha, the reprint, Dinosaur 1944, Return to a Planet Apocalypse, right? You'll understand in a second why I'm laughing, because it's crazy bad. Designed. All of these you say designed. And actually, I'm saying that because some of the quotes actually from, I think it's like Dinosaur 1944, they say that design and the art is all done and all it needs to be done is, after the campaign is sent to the production side of things, right? Whoops. What happened there? Another crowdfunding project projecting that they actually have a lot more stuff done during the campaign than what they actually have done? Color me shocked, Batman. But look at this, right? They're just restarting Hyperspace right now, and they said it's going to take 2 months to tool 20 figures. So that's where they're at right now, and they're going that. And someone actually mathed it out in the comment section. They said they're going to have shooting for August of 2023 for this one. The minimum of all of these actually puts it in September. So he didn't even do his own math right, which is just scary, which means you're going to be lucky if you get Hyperspace by the end of 2023. Again, Eternal, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027 for freaking Return of Planet Apocalypse, right? That's why you're freaking screwed. I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh, because the insanity of it is just ridiculous, right? Absolute ridiculous. See, here it is. I pulled it up from the Glorantha page. You can see right there. I'm not making that up. It wasn't like a YouTube Liege, graphic special or anything. And just to be clear, let's pull up Glorantha here for a second. This one was supposed to be delivered in 2021, the end of 2021 already. So this one is already going to be 2 years overdue already at this point, because this funded over 3 years ago. Whew. Ouch. Okay, that's past pain, right? What's ongoing pain? Let's talk about this one for a second. I covered this. I remember covering this one. I think it was the beginning of 2021-ish, I think. Epic 7 Rise. The Epic 7 video game port over to the tabletop. Brand new company, miniatures, raised like a couple $100,000, maybe almost $500,000 in crowdfunding. And I just looked at it and I said, there's a Dice Tower preview, and they're kind of like, oh, this is really cool, and they got these elements, and I was like, and then new company, they started pledge locking some of the content, okay, I'm gonna pass on this one. I backed it for $1, and I've kind of been riding on the coattails since then, and this just came across my radar, that it's like being delivered in the process right now, right? Translation, not very good. I mean, literal translation, not me translating what I'm going with this, right? Like the literal translation wasn't very good of the actual rule book. So that was a one ding. But let me pull up the page here and just go right into it, and you'll know why I'm pulling it up in the first place. So here's the page. Again, 40 stretch goals unlocked. You have 40 stretch goals that we're going to be talking about right here. We're going to scroll down. We're going to get to these stretch goals. You can see all of this stuff was unlocked there, and you got a whole bunch of extra stuff, right? And the whole reason you're going to get a game like this, right? Like I said, with the exclusive stretch goals, the exclusives that they're pledge locking, the exclusives that you're not going to be able to get at retail, right? Where am I going with this, Chris? This funded, as you can see, probably not actually where my head is right now, February 1, 2021, right? And so I'm going to go over here to this update. Right here, and they show you some production pictures, and this was February, and they show, okay, this awesome, looking great, you're going to get your product. It's been about 2 years, you're starting to get your product, and then we go to the next update, right? March 1, month prior to me filming this. Just, okay, we can't stress how many hurdles we've had to overcome. This one right here, right here, right here, right here. They didn't do any of the stretch goals. Oh, we'd like to apologize for it. 2 years later, as it's being freaking delivered. Oh, custom dice? Yep. Quality of the plastic tray, not very good. But look at this. We weren't able to fulfill, and should have told you in advance instead of confusing and disappointing you now. It's not even the fact that they didn't do it. It's that they even covered it up or lied about it. I don't know if they lied about it or they just didn't, say anything, a lie of omission. Holy crap, I'd be pissed. Like, you're not on a scale of like Peterson games level screwed, but like I'm a good solid 6 or 7 if I'm a backer, right? And it's always interesting when you go over to the Board Game Geek page, right? The first person 10, I unboxed it and I'm dazzled by the artwork. Has good figurines. That's about it, though. It's all aesthetically rating it, right? I have no clue what they're talking about here. Have you ever noticed if you abbreviate co-op, it appears you discuss chickens? And they're putting that in the review. Anyway, so then 8, because again, they played it at Gen Con. It was kind of cool. And everything else is just kind of all over the place. So take that for what you will, right? Holy cow. Now they've come out later since with an update just prior to me filming this saying, basically we spent the whole month talking about it, and we're going to try and resolve the production issues and fulfillment, and we're going to try and do some of the stretch goals now. I don't know. What do you... I mean, they say it, and they're going to put it out there that they're going to fulfill it. And so, I mean, I guess that means they're going to fulfill it, because if you weren't going to fulfill it, you wouldn't put out that promise a second time to fail, right? Right? It's like that Anakin Padme meme, right? Now we're going to go to Ghosts of the Future on crowdfunding. How screwed are you? I have no idea, but as I'm playing with my Frosthaven coin here, it's a flip of the coin of what the heck is kind of going on, and why are we talking about a game you've probably never seen or heard of on crowdfunding? I didn't even cover this one because it flew under the radar completely because it wasn't close to funding as well. A sort of mix of a new werewolf mafia-esque type game called Raven Manor. Let's take a little closer look. Some astute Board Game Geek users brought it to my attention, and let's give it a look-see. You'll understand why in a second. Now you look here and you go, okay, wow, that's great. $17,000. Next evolution of Werewolf Mafia, dark comic book style, Sin City, 157 backers, $17,000. No, sounds good, Chris. Makes sense. 15 to 45 minutes. You get your character, you do all your mafia, werewolf stuff, blah, 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 right? Makes sense. No issues so far on surface glance if you just look at the page and everything that's sort of aesthetically surface value there. Now, I sat down and crunched the math here. You have 157 backers, $17,230 at the time of me filming this. I sat down and I said, okay, well, let's go through the pledge levels for these pledges that are there, and I did that, and 155 pledges that are on there for a total of $6,397, excluding minor variances for currency exchange, right? So if you're doing the math, then how much money does that leave us? And 17,230, that means there is $10,833 missing from 2 backers, right? So 5416 50 $5,416.50 on an average for those 2 pledgers that are getting it. And apparently they've come out in the comments or the updates and said that those are 2 stores that are supporting the retailer side of things, right? Oh, okay, that makes sense. Now, if you divide that by 2, and then we get the 11, which gets me the total of how many copies that they would be doing, split between the 2 of them. That is, even if they got a little bit of a discount, less than the $11 individually here, obviously, you're looking at something well over 500 copies per store that a store could buy. One local game store getting 500 copies of this game. Doing the rock eyebrow raise on this one, right? Okay. Does that make you a little nervous? Makes me a little nervous, Not that you can't have a small print run of a small card game like this in the first place, but that is nearly like 65% of your funding from 2 people. I don't know what to make of that. I am not going to go any further interpreting that, but you can do your own interpretation in your head and in the comment section. It just is freaking weird. And that's why we got to talk about it, though, too. Buyer beware, backer beware. Sorry, I also forgot to show you over here on KickTrack, and I love this of KickTrack's, right? Daily data. Those 2 backers, those 2 funders, right? And you know what? It's not just like, Chris, they could have 1 person here and 1 person there, right? Okay. I'll give that to you. Daily data, though. Look at this right here. You see this spike right here? That's on 3/29. That's on March 29. And the nice thing is it tells you how many dollars it was. But the other thing is it tells you how many backers it was. And guess what? It was 2 backers. 2 backers. 2 backers, folks. Same 2 backers. Same big pledge levels there. Again, take that for what you will. Now, one of my favorite times, get to talk about this a couple times a year, it's Onimaru. Penguin and Panda Productions, Onimaru. If you're not familiar with that, I've covered it multiple times. It was the poster child for a long time of crowdfunding campaigns gone completely sideways, array, and potentially screwed. But somehow it's, righted the ship. It got back on the rails and got some backer money support-ish. I don't know, finally enough pressure to get it going. And it's going. Let's pull it up, though, and take a look-see. 1,524 days since Onimaru funded. Yeah, I calculate that every time because it's fun, right? 1,500 days. And we're, kind of maybe going somewhere. The latest update from about a month ago at the beginning of March is, hey, we're still in contact with the production every 1 to 2 weeks, and we really don't have anything else. We thought we'd have something else for you, but the other one, Manchukuo, is going along, and I guess, like they said previously, they're going to be shipping both Manchukuo and Onimaru together, so if you're Manchukuo, you're kind of, twiddling your thumbs, wondering when Onimaru is actually going to have some progress, right? We'll be in touch soon. Updated details, some news, some deets, some numbers, some productions. Nope, that's a while ago. So yeah. And just for clarity's sake, let's go back over to the beginning of February. So by the time I'm done filming this, I expect an update very shortly. And they say at the beginning of February that they were doing some actual production-ish with the Dice Tower and some of the pre-production stuff that they had. So, yeah? Question mark? You can't really make up those photos. That's either the best Photoshop you've ever seen or they're doing something. So, kind of going-ish shipping stuff there, but yeah, I'd still play it. I don't know what else to say, but holy crap. Right? This is why you got to be a little discerning. This is why we don't back everything under the sun. This is why, you gotta, hope you don't get unlucky once or twice too. To be fair, I actually have a crowdfunding project that's never going to fulfill. I backed some dice, some Dungeons and Dragons dice, some really nice fancy looking dice for like 20 or 30 bucks on crowdfunding like 3 or 4 years ago. Guy just completely bailed after it got about $45,000. So had his Instagram still up though, and so people were like pestering him on that. But anyway, that's all I got. You know how much I love doing these videos, right? How passionate I am about this stuff and how much this stuff gets called out. Like, I wish some larger channels would take up the banner too on this one. Like, right? Like, I am a small voice in this community, and these are few and far between, but if we don't shine a light on them, they're going to continue to happen, or people are going to try to take advantage of them. There was that other one that sort of looked like a KDM one that King of Average talked about a couple years ago, that sort of went absolutely nowhere, and, you know, it looked really good on the surface, and the campaign launched, and everyone was like, what? I'm not singling him out, but he was one of the people who got like some of their miniatures, because he, you know, that's his thing, right? And so it was just, again, one of those shell game sort of things. But there you go. That's all I got. Don't skip leg day. I think about it every week. I'm like, maybe I just won't do it this week. I'm actually doing 2 leg days a week right now, which is a pain in the butt. Posterior chain and anterior. Anyway, you don't need to know about that. That's all I got. I'm still messing around with the Frosthaven coin. I don't know. It's just been sitting here on the table in front of me, so I just can't avoid, you know, picking it up. And, you know, it's a cool tree, though. I'm not a big fan of the other side, but the tree is really kind of cool. It reminds me of Lord of the Rings. Anyway, that's all I got. Stay classy. Have a great freaking fantastic day. I love talking about board games.